Good morning. Hello, everyone. It's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue here for today's Cricut chat. It's Tuesday, and we are doing something really fun with your Explorer or your Maker today. We're going to take the long cut sign or long cut designs, good morning, Marissa, and turn them into signs that we can cut on the Maker or the Explorer. If you've seen me before doing those long cut signs with the Joy, it's really great, but if we don't have a Joy, it's hard to replicate them. So I'm going to give you a few tips on how to do that today in today's episode. So let me just say hello. Hi Christine, hi Diane. We're having a snow emergency today. So good morning, Lisa. Hi Tina. So yeah, my son's home from school today because it's coming during the day. I wonder how you all are doing. But this would be our second snowstorm in a week, basically a week. So Shirley, you are, wow, that's amazing. Diane is saying minus 30 degrees in Prince George, Canada. Yikes. So, hi Tamara, hi Susan, hi Diane. Yeah, Terry, hello, how are you? Emmy is there. Hi, Emmy. And so good morning, everyone. So we're going to be making these long cut signs, and if you've seen me before doing these, I've done them several times. I did Christmas, I did Thanksgiving and Halloween, and I even did these Valentine's ones, but I have always done them on the Joy because the Joy is perfect for that and has the long strips of vinyl that you can buy. But for those of us who don't have a Joy yet or are not in the market for a Joy, what do you do? Can you still make these long cut signs? And the very simple answer is yes, you absolutely can do that. And I'm going to show you two ways that you can do it. So I cut this one out for today's project. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that you need to do. Now, what you need first is you need vinyl in at least 24-inch length. And you also need a long length, a 12 by 24-inch mat if you want to do it this way. There is a way to get around it if you only have 12-inch mats, but the 12 by 24, oh yeah, I'm going to talk about that, Sarah. 12 by 24 mat with at least, like a 24-inch vinyl is ideal. Then you're going to need a piece of wood. And this is the wood that I have. It's 7 inches wide and 30 inches long. Okay, so 42 inches. 42 could be done as well. Okay, and also I wanted to thank the person that watches me on YouTube that told me that Mardi Gras isn't until next week. So I figured let's do this first, and we'll get to Mardi Gras next week. Okay, so I apologize for the miscommunication. I really thought that today was going to be Mardi Gras, and then somebody told me last night that no, it's not until after Valentine's Day, and because it's Mardi Gras is a Tuesday. Mardi meaning Tuesday, Gras meaning fat, so Fat Tuesday in French. It always comes the day before Ash Wednesday, so it's called the farewell to the flesh, like Fat Tuesday. So this is the last day that people who are Catholic, usually Catholic, have to supposedly stop eating meat for their entire Lenten time frame. So that's what Mardi Gras means. And obviously we know it's all about NOLA, New Orleans, Louisiana, but people celebrate Mardi Gras everywhere across the country. So I am still going to do the Mardi Gras designs. And actually, I did do something that I wanted to show you real small. And I'm going to show you if I have time today. But here is a fleur de lis, which is a lily flower, but it's called a fleur de lis. And this is very famous for NOLA. And what I did was I used its 3 colors, and I cut out the base being from this black window cling like we used yesterday. And so now if you wanted to, I'm going to show you that if I have a little bit of time. If not, we'll save it for our Mardi Gras. But that is a fleur de lis. That one's not so good. I got better at them as I was making them. So I want to show you what how that works. Okay, so back to lawn cut signs. So these images were mostly created for the Joy, because the Joy can handle very long lengths, like 10 feet and more. And so I always, when I saw them, I always thought, well, I can only cut those on the Joy. But then I started thinking that this would be easy to achieve on the Maker or the Explorer if you had a few things. So the few things that you need are a sign, you have to, a board, so you have to know the length. Today, I have a 28-inch long board that's approximately 7 inches wide. And you also need a mat that's 12 by 24. This is preferable, although you could do this on a 12 by 12, but you might have to do a few more steps, okay? And if you have a Joy, you don't have to really do much to change that. But with the Explorer Maker, you do need to make some changes to the design. So let's get started. These are the long cut signs that were created just this year for the Valentine's Day long cut signs. Each season, it seems that they're going to, because they're popular, they're going to be adding these. So I have asked for Easter and spring. So I'm hoping that's gonna come to fruition soon. Yes, this is a very easy thing to do on the Joy, because the Joy using smart vinyl in an extra long length you don't have to be thinking about it. You just simply have to send it to the Joy and it will cut out, and you can put it on there and it comes out great. So, but there are a lot of us that only have one machine and it's not the Joy. So I want to show you how to manipulate it. So, these 3 are actually, images from long cut Valentine sign. So we're going to go to images. So when we go to images, image sets. I don't know why it does this all the time, but go back, featured. Nope. Image sets. We'll go to image sets because I want to show you that they're not just for Valentine's Day. So here is, I put in the word long because that's what they call them at Cricut. And so if you wanted to do tile or create a long, like a railroad tracks, or these are the ones they originally came out with last year, and they're really cute and they make great stencils. For a child's room, happy birthday is very nice. This is the alphabet, but I like to use them on this board to put out on my front of my house, and that's what I've been doing. I did that for Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween, and there are all kinds of images here for that case, and at the very bottom are the Valentine's Day long cut images. So we've seen these before and we've done them before, but I want to do it on my Explore. Actually on my Maker today. And one of the things that I'm going to do when I pick out an image to do, I'm going to pick out something fairly simple. I kind of want to avoid the ones that have this here, but it's not impossible, but I'll show you what I mean. So there are two that are fairly simple. There's this Amour, and then there's this XOXO. The rest of them have brackets around them, so I'm going to choose one of these two just to get us started. So let's choose this one and bring it into our space. So this is the one we chose, and you'll see it comes in at 22 inches, 23 actually, which would work, I think. Yeah, let's see. Nope, it's not exactly 28 inches long, but if you had a board that was less than 2 feet long, you could just cut this straight on your Maker. But in this case, again, I told you my board is 28 inches long and it's about 7 inches wide. Okay, so I want to change it up. So the first step that I did was I changed the size of the image. I wanted it to be fairly long, but I knew that I couldn't go really beyond 23 inches as a whole, because that's about 23 and a half is as long as you can get with the 12 by 24 inch cuts, right? And so what we can do, but it comes in, and this comes in fairly skinny. So 3.1 inches wide and 22 inches, 23 really, long. So what I can do is unlock this and sort of start to move the image to something that's going to fit on my board. So here I go. If I go to a width of, I don't know, 6 inch width, it's going to, let me just start from scratch. Okay, so I'm going to go up here and change my width to 6, okay? But when I do that, the height comes out to be almost 43 inches long, okay? And that is in the locked position, right? So this is 43 inches long. Well, we have a mat that is 24 inches long. So let's start with this and we'll do a couple of things. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to make sure that if it were to cut out completely, would it fit on our board? Well, in this case, no, because my board is 7 inches wide, which is perfect for the width, but the height is only 28 inches, right? So how do I make it so that it is 28 inches or less? Well, I would unlock it. So here I am unlocking it, and then I would probably just change it so that it's down to 28 inches approximately. It goes a little bit below that. So there's 27.4, and our width has remained the same. And if you don't mind, there's a little slight distortion here, and if that doesn't bother you, then that is fine. It kind of bothers me, so I want to just kind of change the width a little bit more so that it's a little more, distributed better on my board. Okay, so I'm changing around, and I got a width of 5.6, which will give me like an inch on either side, which is pretty good. So, and to me, this looks pretty good, but it is 28 inches long, and it's actually a little more than 20 inches long, so I have to make it even shorter. Let's say 27. So we'll do 27. Yeah, I think that's good. So what I end up doing 4 point. Okay. So I think that it looks good to me. 26. So I'm going to stick with that. All right, let me get closer. So now what do we do? Because we have an image that is way long for a 24-inch mat. Well, the simple thing to do here is to cut the image into 2 mats, okay? So this can be done with anything that's over the size of a 12 by 12 or 12 by 24-inch mat. So keep this in mind if you want to do something like an oversized image in paper, in vinyl, or anything like that. So keep that in mind. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to employ our slice technique, which everybody loves. And we're going to start with a shape to do that. So we're going to cut this in half, probably right around here, so that would have about the same length, you see? So we're going to insert a shape, a square, and we have to make it bigger. All right, Teddy. We have to make it bigger. And remember, we have to make it so that it completely covers that area that we want to cover. So I decided, right, that I wanted to cut my sign in half. Let's see. I think this is a good place right here between the O and the X, and that's about the same length. So let's take our square, which is now a rectangle, and unlocked it, and I am going to lay it over right where I want to cut. Okay? So that works for me. I have to zoom out so I can see my whole image, and that's really actually too much. Okay, here we go. This is better. So we have my actual image, which is 26 inches high and 5.5 inches wide. And then we have this this box or this square that I have resized, which it ends up being 9.6 inches wide and 18 inches high. Then I'm going to select both images. So you need to have both images selected, and I'm going to use slice. Okay. So slice is down here on the bottom right-hand side. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yeah. So slice. Okay. So what happens with slice? Well, remember, slice is like cutting cookies with a cookie cutter. And let's say this is your dough and this was your cookie cutter, and this is what you get left. And so you can get rid of the dough and the cookie cutter. And here we have, let me zoom in better. Where did it go? I hope that it didn't go anywhere. Zoom out. Okay, here it is. So now we have 2 separate pieces, and guess what? And each one is like, this one here is 10 and 0.6, so that would not fit on a 12 by 12, and this one is 15.1, and that would not fit on a 12 by 12. But the good news is that side by side, they're both going to fit on a 12 by 24. Okay, so let me show you how this cuts out, and I can show you this whole thing. Oh, really? I've never done that, taping 2 12 by 12 inch mats together. That's really kind of ingenious. All right, so let's go. I hope I'm going to have good luck today with cutting. So this is what we want to cut out, and then when we put it together, we're going to put it on top of each other just like that. And that's why I said you want to avoid the things with the side features. Doesn't mean that you can't do it. It's just would be a little complicated. You'd have to do it right at the exact same point that you want it. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit make it. Now, when you hit make it and you have images that need to be on a larger mat, it tells you at the top right there, it says at least one of your images is larger than 11.5 inches height or width. Hit OK. I don't know why that's there, but it's been there since forever. So I hit OK, and now I have this extra long. See, I had even a few more inches left, and here is my top and here's my bottom, and they're going to cut on the same 12-inch wide vinyl. So I have prepared my vinyl. I'm going to use today this is called Crystal, and I have it upside down. So this is called Crystal vinyl. That's all it's called, Crystal. And this is a 12 by 24 inch mat. And this is a big enough to handle our 23 inches of vinyl. So I got basically a roll, and I just unrolled it, and you can use anything for this, vinyl, regular vinyl, holographic, or whatever. And now we're just going to put it in the machine and cut it out. Now, I also have down here 2 of these, so I don't know why that happened. Oh, maybe I forgot to turn off one. All right, so let's cut this one. If my computer lets me cut it, which it doesn't seem like it is letting me do that. So let me try it again. Make it. You might want to spread these out a tiny bit, okay? And let's see if it will let me go. It won't let me go. Oh, good grief. The only option I have is to cancel. Okay, well, let's just pretend that it cut out on my 12 by 12 inch mat, okay? 12 by 24 inch mat. And all you need to do, as we always do, is select the proper cut, put it in the machine, and it cuts out. So I'm going to show you how to weed a larger thing. This is the same for any machine, and then we'll hopefully be able to try to put it on the board. So we're going to have to cancel out of this due to things going on. So let me move you. This isn't what I wanted to do, but you know, you have to roll with the punches, you know. Okay. So as I mentioned that I cut this out in, this is that red crystal. It's called, I want to call it sparkle, but it's crystal actually. And I cut actually 2 of these out. So I want to show you how to weed it. It weeds very nicely. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go in between all the letters where there are pieces that have the, that have the part that we're going to take out. So in this case, the B, the inside of the B, the lumps on the B. And then also you'll notice that on the side of each letter is also a space that you're going to remove. So here we go. This one and this one. So the B is done. We'll come back and do the outside part. The E needs to have this removed. The heart does not need anything removed, but the M needs to have these pieces removed first. 1, 2. Whoops. Okay, and oh, it didn't cut all the way through. I'm not sure why, but that's okay. We can still use that. And then down here, the N, and then the last one being the E. So the rest is just pulling it off. And I know some of you struggle with this, but it really is not difficult. Start at the corner here and sort of grab the vinyl like this, and you're going to start peeling it down. Now you have to do this sort of slowly, or at least I do, because sometimes the pieces don't come off. And that can cause a big problem, and you might have to go back and cut it out. So here I'm going to go at the very top here. Whoops, nope. Stay on there. Is that going to stay on there, Rita? No, it's not. You're right. Duh. Okay. Oh, man. I amuse myself, at least. Okay, so here we go. And we're starting to move it. And it is a little bit cumbersome, and that's okay. I'm just going to just continue to work along the edge, the right edge here, and I get to the bottom, and there's the bottom. So I'm going to take the majority of this off, which is good, and then I'll go back and weed out anything that I need to weed out. All right. Of course, it's stuck on me. Okay. So it's starting to come together, starting to look like what we want it to, but we still need to do this major piece in the middle. So let's do that. B with the heart. Here comes the M. Oops, still have to do a little bit of weeding on that M. And let's go down to the E. Oh, this is my worst, the least favorite thing is getting rid of weeded vinyl. I don't know. It's just like kind of, I don't like sticky. Okay, so let's go down and make sure we clean up. This. Okay, there is still some missing here on the cutout, so let's do that. We'll cut this part out, or weed it out. All right. So now we have almost, I think I might have to do it on the other end too. Okay, that should do it. All right, so inspect your cutout. Make sure you've got all the little pieces cut out or weeded out so that you don't have any mistakes. It's okay if you do have some left. We can remove them afterwards, but in this case I don't. So I took my transfer tape, which I cut into about 6-inch long, or 6-inch wide, I should say. So they're 12 inches. So what I'm going to do is overlap them. So let's get the first one off. All right, so here we go. And I like to work like this on my vinyl. I'm going to make sure I'm in camera. But I like to work going from the side. It just on these long signs, because for me, it just makes a lot of sense. And go from the middle and then make sure you push it out. Okay? So there is the first half of our sign. Done. And let's get the second piece of transfer tape. Now remember, you can reuse transfer tape that you have you have used already, and sometimes it's better to do that. Now, this particular crystal vinyl doesn't require strong grip transfer tape, but I just want to remind you that there are some that do, and like such as glitter. And so be aware of that, because glitter or also the shimmer requires strong grip transfer tape, which you usually get inside of the roll. At the very inside of the roll, they give you usually 12 by 12 piece of glitter. Now, this part here where I have these little crinkles, probably that's my mess up, but it's not going to affect anything really. But I was able to overlap right here. So now I have 2 pieces on my entire sign, you see. The next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I very strongly do this or with something like this, but I always use my scraper. This is a scraper, extra large one. You can use anything really. I've seen people use credit cards even, but what you're trying to do is get that vinyl onto the tape so you can transfer the whole thing all at once. Without transfer tape, putting vinyl on would require you to have some pretty steady hands. I mean, it's possible to do it. We've done it before, such as when we did our Cupid sign, where those were pretty basic cutouts and they were easy to move around because they were thicker. But this is not thicker. This is kind of thin vinyl. So let's make sure I get it all right. I want to make sure I get all those little hearts. We got to get those little hearts on there. Now I'm going to try to put my board up here so you can see. So this board, if you're wondering, it just came from my garage. It's got kind of a weathered look to it because it's been stuck in my garage. And it is I guess 1x6, right? I'm going to go up a little higher. So it's a 1x6, and I can't fit it all into the frame, but it's a 1x6. And the important point to mention here is that it is pre-primed. If you're using a non-primed board and doing vinyl on it, it's a good idea to put paint or a primer at the very least. This comes pre-primed, and it was part of something that I had from, I don't know, we do a lot of construction over here because my house is very old, and so everything always needs fixing. So this ends up being a little bit shorter than the size, so I'm going to just kind of eyeball it and see. I want to have a little bit up here and a little bit down here, and I like the way that looks. Now I'm going to make sure that I can get the image off on the transfer tape before I actually start thinking about putting it on the wood. I flip mine over just simply because sometimes things do not come off the transfer tape, even if you've burnished. And I'm hoping that one thing doesn't come off so you can see what I mean. Yep, right there. So see how that's pulling? So I just want to make sure you can use, where's my weeder? You can use your weeder if that happens. I didn't need to. I could use my fingers for that. Oh, this came off real nice. Let's see. I don't want to speak too soon. Okay, there we go. So that is transfer tape backing. We're just going to recycle that. And I am going to start, I think I'll start and call this my top. Let me have a look. It looks like I might turn this over, because here we go. All right. So here's my transfer on the transfer tape. So my cutout's on the transfer tape. And I am going to start lengthwise. It's, for me, easier to do it. So it's easy for me to sort of pick my fingers where I want it to be. And I want it to be in about an inch, right? And on both sides so that it's centered. And then, I don't know, there's like 2 inches on the top and 2 inches on the bottom. Now, you could be very, very picky about this, but honestly, you don't have to do all that measuring. Use your common sense and your eyeball to do it, which is, and you will, by the way, get better at this as time goes on. If you struggle a little bit, that's okay. It gets better. So, okay, so I placed it on there very gently. And I want to make sure that that is where I want it to go. And yes, I do, because see, I have a couple inches on the bottom and the top, and it's pretty centered in the inside width of 7 inches. Now I'm going to go and use my my scraper again, because now I want to take this off of the transfer tape, right? And so I'm going to use my scraper and make sure I get that all put onto the wood. And again, just as a reminder, sorry, I hit the camera. So just as a reminder, this is a primed piece of wood. If you're going to do this and you only have raw wood or unpainted wood, I would definitely suggest that you paint it. Even the stuff that comes in, say, Michael's, that are signs or whatever, paint it, because the paint is something that helps to secure the vinyl. Okay, so I think I can take off my transfer tape now. And I'm going to do it very gently, because see here, this is lifting. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to, and I'll come back and make sure that it's all affixed. But I'm rolling it off of the board, like kind of on a slant. And that's just to make it easier for the tape to remove from the vinyl. All right. Whoop, see that? The E wasn't properly adhered onto the wood. Come back, hit it with my scraper. That's better. Okay, and then here I have a little piece that's poking up. So definitely this is something you want to be patient with the process, and yourself, of course, because this is where if you're rushing to get it done, you're going to just get yourself in a mess. Whoops, that came off real quick. All right, so let me just keep moving down, and it looks like part of my M is not. Come on, M. Might as well do this over here again, just in case. And I also want to save my transfer tape because I'm going to use it again. Okay. You can, by the way, save the backing, the one that I threw out, and put this transfer tape back on it. I always just take my transfer tape and, whoops, and stick it on the side of my desk, you know, the overhang of my desk, just because I know it's there. All right. It's a little lankier when it's longer, so you could cut it if you needed to. All right. Now, as I'm doing this, you're probably noticing that there are some parts that are sort of wavy or tunneled. And I want to just show you what I do when that happens. Come on. Let me just get the transfer tape off. Okay. Okay. Take my transfer tape and put it on the side of my desk. Okay, so now I'm going to take my weeding tool, because I'm not quite done yet. You'll see here, like there's a almost like a blip, or I don't know, a lift in the tape. So I'm just putting my weeding tool under it and then making sure it gets pressed down. Over here, another piece, and just gently guide it down. And then here, I'm going to go this way and gently guide it down. And whoops, something just dropped off my desk. Okay, and then here, we're just working around it because this sometimes happens, and that's okay. It seems to me like it happens more with the special kind of vinyl, like not just the plain regular vinyl. So it seems to happen, but it's easy to correct, and you want to correct it. Now there are some times when you have like a bubble or something, and what I would suggest if you do get a bubble is that you don't want to fix it, is you leave it for 24 hours. Sometimes that extra time for the vinyl to adhere is just what it needs, okay? And sometimes not. And if you do have the bubble and it remains after 24 hours, you can take a hair dryer, very lightly do hair dryer, and that heat will make it sort of contract. Yeah. And that will be fine. Or at the if it's a huge bubble, you can also prick it with a very small pin, and either before or after you do that hair dryer trick. Okay, so this is done. Isn't it great? I mean, it just took me a few minutes, and now I have a board that I did on my maker, and yeah, I suppose I have a little extra over here. If you wanted to be very, very precise, you could do that. But for me, this looks kind of rustic anyway. And I've gone along, and I'm going to put it outside of, actually outside of my door when the snow stops. And I think a lot of people will drive by. I know I have all of my school buses that drive by, and they look for the corgis in the window, so they'll get to see my decoration, and that will be fun. So that's how you do a long cut on your maker. I want to just make sure. Let's go back here so we can see if it's working now. But let's try and make it. No, not working. Okay, so let me, now that I have a couple of minutes, let me talk about this. This is that fleur-de-lis that it's made out of those three colors, green, yellow, it's supposed to be gold, but green, yellow, and purple, and it's on a backing of window cling. Okay, so now I can decorate for Mardi Gras with these fleur-de-lis, and when I'm done, I can take them off, and I have a three color different. So this relates a bit to yesterday, so I wanted to kind of follow up with that, all right? Let me get you down here so you can see. So you see I cut out a number of pieces. It's three colors. So here is the purple. Just get one of those. The purple, the green, and the way that it's going to go is that we're going to do the purple first, I think. No, I think I did the colors first, but it's going to go like this, okay? And then here is the window cling. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take a little bit of transfer tape. So I'm going to take a little bit of that transfer tape I just used. Cut me off a slice, right? And then I am going to, I believe I can do this without, yeah. Okay, then I'm going to put the transfer tape on this purple piece. And again, you know, you're going to want to make sure it comes off good, so you have to embellish, branish. I'm having a hard time with that word today. push on it. Then this is the window cling. So it's going to make it easier to come off. And of course I have a corgi hair in here. I don't know where it's at, but I'm going to then try to line up as best as I can. And I know this part's a little bit difficult, and so requires, I know I did a bad job of one of them that I did, but here is that middle piece, and then I want the green piece, which is going to be over here. So let's do that. Where's my... Oops, there we go. And then being ever so careful, we're going to put the green and then the yellow piece on. And why I chose the black was I thought that it looked okay if it peeked through a little bit, instead of, say, I don't know, red or orange, which I have, of the window cling. I suppose white would be fine too, but I didn't have as much white, so I chose the black. All right. And there we go. Okay. I usually try to go right over it. And so if it doesn't come out well, you'll do better than I will. Okay. All right. So there's our 3 colored fleur-de-lis, and let me show you how it easily comes off. It easily sticks back onto my background, and then it easily sticks onto any non-porous surface. So you can make, this is the idea that we talked about yesterday, where we can build a little more complex or even more complex image on onto window cling, and then create something that's removable. Okay, so just to go back, I want to show you where I got those images again, in case you're late in arrival. For the long cut signs, I went to images right here, and you can type image sets, and then you can type the word long. And here on long, down at the bottom, are the Valentine's Day long cut signs. For the Mardi Gras one, I simply put in Mardi. I spelled wrong. There's no E in Mardi. M-A-R-D-I. Mardi. And here are the Mardi Gras images that I used for this fleur-de-lis. I think it's this one. No, that's a printable one. I think it was this one. And we will do, as we talked before, these multicolored Mardi Gras, like this is like subway art. We will be doing that a little bit later, okay? So that is it for today. Let's see. I know what the schedule is going to be for the rest of the week, so I might as well tell you. Tomorrow we're going to do something called papel picado, which is, it just stands for paper that has holes in it, which is right. But it's actually a Mexican art form that they've brought to the Cricut, and we're going to do the papel picado for a Be Mine. What's the word? Banner for Valentine's Day, and I'm going to show you a little trick that I like for my indoor banners. But papel picado, usually they hang it outside on the Day of the Dead, but they've got them in all of the holidays now. So I want to show you what I do so you can really catch and really see the cutouts that are on there. Okay. All right, that's it for today. So, oh wait, papel picado, and then that's Wednesday, right? And Thursday we're doing more Valentines that are kid focused and older kids that have puns in it. So that's Thursday. And then Friday, our 3D day, we're working on some takeout boxes, both in a very Chinese looking box and also in fancy paper. So you can use it for anything like a little Valentine's gift or a candy box or something. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay off the roads if you're on the East Coast, and just have fun crafting. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming, and you have a wonderful day. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.